off. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. As we do every year, we want to give New Yorkers information on what they can expect as they come out to enjoy the city's Thanksgiving events. In a few moments, Chief of Patrol Rodney Harrison will give you an overview of the security measures for tonight's balloon inflation and tomorrow's parade. And Chief Jimmy Waters will speak about our counterterrorism overlay. What I would like to emphasize is that there are no known credible threats to New York City, the Thanksgiving Day parade, or the balloon inflation. Every year, this New York City tradition draws millions of people to our city who can rest assured they will have a safe and fun day. As we've all heard, the weather for Thursday is supposed to be a bit windy. Like last year, we had a similar forecast, and it'll be the same as this year. It'll be a game day decision on what we're going to do with the balloons. Chief Harrison will speak more about that in detail. I just want to say that my favorite balloon is back in the parade. Snoopy has finally made a return, so we're looking forward to getting those balloons down the route. There's going to be thousands of great NYPD cops who will be protecting the events, and these men and women in blue are second to none at keeping people safe. As we celebrate Thanksgiving, I want to express my personal gratitude to the members of the NYPD for the work they do each and every day, for going into harm's way on behalf of those that they proudly serve, and for being away from their loved ones at events like this, the Thanksgiving Day Parade, so that millions of families can enjoy it. We all look forward to seeing everyone at the balloon inflation tonight and at the parade tomorrow. So now I'm going to turn it over to Rodney, who's going to give you more details.
So good morning, everybody. No pressure about tomorrow, correct? So if I could just talk about the balloon inflation, and then I'll go into the 93rd Thanksgiving Day Parade. So we're allowing people to line up at 12 o'clock. That's going to be at 73rd Street in between Columbus and Central Park West. And then we're going to allow people into the viewing sites for the parade at 1 o'clock, and that will go until 8 o'clock p.m. Once again, prohibited items are going to be no coolers, no backpacks, no chairs, and no umbrellas. In regards to the parade starts tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 9:05 a.m. It starts off at 7 and Central Park West. It's going to go southbound to Columbus Circle and 59th. It will then go eastbound on 59th down to 6th Avenue. It will then go from 6th Avenue, go southbound to 34th Street, and then finish up in front of the grandstand where the big guy, I'm looking forward to seeing him, Santa Claus, will finish up the route at 12 o'clock. There'll be no pedestrian crossing on Central Park West, but we will have 6 pedestrian crossings on 6th Avenue. And there'll be rolling street closures for the event. So regarding the balloons, there are 16 large character balloons. We have a sergeant that has been trained to these balloons assigned to each one of the balloons. We have anemometers assigned throughout the route. Anemometers. I just want to make sure I said it correctly. There are going to be 7 of them throughout the route. There's one on 77th, 72nd, 59th, 57th, 50th, 42nd, and 34th. These sergeants are well trained to read the anemometers to identify the height where we can allow the balloons to go up. The balloons could actually go up to 55 feet in height, but if it comes to a situation where there's some public safety, we will bring them down to 10 feet. The wind gusts of concerns, if we have winds that are sustained at 23 miles per hour, we'll make a game, day, or a time decision regarding the heights of the balloons. If we have gusts at 34 miles per hour, we will also make a decision regarding the heights of the balloons. So once again, we're going to do a lot of audibles and a lot of last-second decisions, but at the end of the day, public safety is paramount, and we want everybody to enjoy the event. I'm going to pass it over to Jimmy Waters.
Thank you. Good morning. So we're going to do our standard counterterrorism overlay for the parade, which means the entire perimeter will be secured with our blocker cars, about 90 of them, and sand trucks, about 76. We'll be deploying our drone detection equipment, similar to what we did for the New York City Marathon, in partnership with the FBI. So we have our own, NYPD has its own equipment, drone detection equipment, which I can't discuss further, and the FBI has additional different type of drone detection equipment. They also have authorities for mitigation. We'll have our heavy weapons teams out there throughout the entire parade. Our K-9 teams will have about 35 explosive detection K-9, either our vapor wake or odor pursuit dogs out along the entire route. And we also employ a lot of technology, so a lot of sensors. So we'll have over 135 cameras throughout the entire parade route to get a bird's eye view at the Lower Manhattan Security Coordination Center. Thank you.
All right, any questions on the parade? Good. This, I'll get it. It's all going to be based on the anemometers. I want to see if I can say it right. And that it's the wind speeds at those specific locations. So if the wind gusts are at that location, are that high, they may not be able to fly, but that, again, that'll be a game day decision that Chief Harrison will be making. So it's all based on the wind speed at those locations. So a lot of the reports are coming back to what the wind speeds are going to be at LaGuardia. So we go by what's the wind speed within those corridors. Yes. Safety. We work in coordination with Macy's, but for public safety, we make that final call. Chief Harrison will be making that final call. So if the balloons don't fly, everyone can blame him.
No. Yeah, simply no. We have, there's certain technologies to keep people safe, but at this point, we're not going to discuss what those technologies are. We don't shoot anything out of the air, but there's ways to take control of the UAV, and we have the capability to do such thing. I'll have to get back to you on the last year, but we did have a couple of detections during Unger, which were all non-hostile.
If it's 100-mile-an-hour winds, they're not going to fly, right? We got to say, everything will be a game day decision tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. It's only, I think, once in the history of the parade that the balloons didn't fly. When they're going down the block, we'll see what the wind speeds are at that point in time. No, again, we've been working these plans. We've looked at them forever. We have the route secured. We're very, very comfortable that it's going to be a safe day. Right? Yeah. Yeah, good. Discuss that.
So, yes, I mean, some of our balloons are larger than others. I believe the largest balloon this year is the SpongeBob and Gary balloon. The second one is the Paw Patrol. They're about 18,000 cubic square feet. So, of course, during certain areas of the route, there may be a little bit more of a struggle regarding how we can contain it. So, once again, as we'll evaluate it, if we have to bring it down to 10 feet, then so be it. And if we have a struggle or we see a concern about public safety, then we'll make a decision at that time.
Obviously, it happened twice in the past. 1997, we had an incident over by Central Park, and in 2005, we had an incident down by 42nd Street. So that is our main concern, to make sure that those balloons can get down the route safely.
So they seem to be the new topic of conversation. We've been talking about Al-Qaeda since 2001. We see ISIS in the last 6 years or so. We've always had an eye. We looked at domestic terrorism pre-9/11, throughout the FALN and other groups like that. So the bottom line is we have to take a look at all of those groups and all of those people. Our concerns, obviously, are homegrown. People that decide to self-radicalize. You don't have to make a trip to Afghanistan and get trained anymore. You can get trained in your mother's basement. So, between the JTTF and the Intelligence Bureau, all our partners in federal state agencies, all working sources and methods of information, gathering that intelligence, sifting through that. We take that information, we train to that information, and we deploy the officers and all the equipment to protect. It'll be a very safe event tomorrow.
Yeah, so pretty much the same items. No coolers, no chairs, no umbrellas, no large bags. We'll have the appropriate security out there. I have the utmost faith in the men and women as well as for the NYPD to make sure it's a safe event. One thing I just wanted to hit on, that even if we have to move a large character balloon from the route, we still have a bunch of performers that are going to be out there as well as we have other small helium balloons as well. So if we have to move something off the route, that may be the situation, but the event will still go on. Yeah. We would take it off a side street and deflate it on a side street if need be. Once again, if we find us where there's a situation where we can't maintain or control the balloon, then we would make a decision at that time if need be. If need be. So Macy's has volunteers that are assigned as well as trained to know the matrix of each one of the balloons, as well as a sergeant. And each one of these balloons, by the way, I want to emphasize the importance. Each one of these balloons are assigned to a vehicle that is able to control it while it goes down the route. So our protocols are a lot more robust in contrast back to the early 2000s and 1990s when we had this parade and had a couple of incidents. I think there's, I have to get back to you, but I believe it's somebody from the Macy's that would have that task. A police sergeant, yes, sir.
The biggest change, again, would be the drones. That's one thing we didn't do. We have our own drone up in the air that can give us a bird's eye view of what's going on throughout the road, and the drone mitigation tools that we'll use. And those are the two new things that are present this time. So it starts up at 9:05, and it ends up with Santa Claus coming at the Macy's grandstand at about 12 o'clock. Yes. Santa's going to be across that route. This is going to be a great parade. If a balloon has to come off the route, there's still a lot of other entertainers that are going to be coming down the route. And just remember, last year we had the same conversation on Wednesday, and there were no issues whatsoever with the balloon. So come out and enjoy this parade. It's going to be a great day. All right, thank you very much.